Nyingma Chimbo the Nyingma is on name Holland Chimbo Abjada Pakartang Santu Hirmado Tomba Tuji Chanlaki Fiam Sar Terukundangumba Jambaya Rijadabratom Nindogan La Yanchio Bilamza Sanjaba Jatisho Lala Kifia Sar. First of all, I would like to say welcome to all of you, and I hope you're doing well. And thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your practice dharma, everything. Before we start, as usual, take a moment and correct your motivation. And that means think about all sentient beings who are suffering from all kinds of problems and who are facing difficulties. Keep them in your practice and send them good and positive thoughts, your love, your compassion, your bodhicitta. We have to be careful with how we use our intention when we practice, when we listen teaching like this. So that's very important. Now, we, again, the way of Bodhisattva, why do all of you want to study the Bodhisattva's way of life? I think you want to study it because you want to practice bodhicitta, right? Because once you have developed a mind of bodhicitta, it really helps you live more peacefully and more importantly, like you live very meaningfully. That's the Buddhist perspective of meaningful life. But, I think some certain people have a little bit, wrong view, or I think they misunderstanding about Buddhism. They think that, Buddha advised all his followers to give up all this worldly life, or whatever you call worldly possessions, and live without experiencing any form of worldly pleasure. But as you know, that is what do you call a misconception about life, the renunciation. If our mind is full of desire, then it doesn't matter how much we give up the worldly possessions, worldly life, because from our experience, follow and desire itself is really suffering. Itself is the root of suffering, of samsara. So as you know, the Buddha said that the basic characteristic of ordinary life or worldly people is being born under the influence of ignorance. That gives rise to attachment. And when things do not work out as we expected, we become very angry, very upset. So ignorance, attachment, anger. So these three basic disturbing emotions give rise to other negative emotions such as jealousy, pride, and resentment, etc. And once these negative emotions have been allowed sort of to dominate our mind, our lives, then all the negative sort of actions of body, speech, and mind follow and become a very powerful and strong habit. That is what, you know, if these negative emotions are not causing harm to others, harm ourselves, then we don't have to get rid of them. But that's not the case. So they are the cause of our unhappiness. They are the cause of the root of actually the suffering of samsara. So our experience of happiness and suffering really depend on our the ordinary, the relative mind. So we must deeply commit ourselves not to go along with these negative thoughts and emotions. That's what the Buddha said. But people misunderstand. That is the root of the suffering. You have to give up. You have to get rid of these negative emotions. Buddha does not say that you have to give up worldly possessions, right? So I hope people will understand that. And Buddha also said that the nature of mind is essentially pure. Nothing wrong. Therefore, these negative emotions do not reside in mind's essence. That's why they can be removed through study, through practice, through meditation. That's what Buddha said. So therefore, our daily meditation and self-discipline is really important in order to change or remove or get rid of these negative emotions, negative thoughts. So we must understand that bodhicitta is the most important aspect to have a peace of mind and happy and meaningful life. In Buddhism, you know, as you know, there are many different kinds of instructions, many different kinds of practice. But a fundamental practice that is good for everybody, I think, is what we call bodhicitta, a kind mind. I think no matter who you are, no matter what kind of religion you follow and you believe in, the fundamental practice that is good for everybody is a kind mind. So this practice will give us the opportunity to develop or discover the meaning of our lives. Therefore, we all want to practice bodhicitta so that we will not engage in harmful actions. That is very important because the essence of the Buddha's teaching, simply speaking, what the Buddha said was to avoid harm others. That's all. And when our mind gets a little bit closer to bodhicitta practice, you will really see, you will experience, we will start to find that we have less and less interest in negative emotions. If you don't feel that, that means you are not improved, like increase your kind mind, your bodhicitta. If you see and you experience, you have less interest to these negative emotions, that the good sign that you are developing little bit bodhicitta. So you have to, we ourselves, have to investigate the way we think, the way we act, anger and desire and all these negative thoughts and the emotions. If you are less interested in these things, that good sign. So you have to really, if you want practice bodhicitta, you have to investigate. And every single day you have to remember it. Of course, at first when we try to like control or disturb negative thoughts, it is difficult. But with bodhicitta practice, negative thoughts will gradually change. I mean, that's a logic. That's we just not like we're talking something, out of our capacity. We're not talking that. We're talking about our mind, our thoughts, our emotions. That's the reason why practicing bodhicitta is so important. If we train our mind through practicing bodhicitta to look deeper and to recognize that all sentient beings are just like us, meaning wanting happiness, not wanting suffering, we need to learn method. We need to reduce our self-centeredness and cultivate genuine kind mind, compassion for others. And we have to recognize that our self-centeredness is the cause of our suffering. And both cherishing others is the cause of happiness of both ourselves and others. Then we will be able to stop harming others. Okay? As a Buddhist practitioner, I think every single day you have to investigate yourself. How much increase good thoughts, love and kindness. When we're talking about bodhicitta, kind mind, like teachings like this, we think, oh yeah, that's right, that's true. But in our daily life, we don't remember that, then there's no point. Now I'm going to start, pick up where I left off last class. The root text today, the 8th stanza, we are the 2nd chapter, right? Jardin teti namla dakin dakilikan tando gorwer sen wanchonum dagna yong kipi jimbans cheaper. I offer my own body forever to the Buddhas and to all their bodhisattvas. Sublime beings, please accept me totally. I reverently devote myself to your service. As you know, in this 2nd chapter, there are 4 main sections. We are in the 1st section, which is the offering section, right? As Shantideva said, in order to generate precious bodhicitta in our mind, we need to accumulate a lot of merit through the practice of the offerings, right? Do you remember? Nagarjuna also said that we need to perfect the accumulation for generating bodhicitta. It's not only these people, Shantideva, Nagarjuna, but there are lots of like this great master like Adisha, Bhatta Rinpoche, all they say this. In order to generate bodhicitta in your mind, you have to accumulate merit. So therefore, Shantideva teaches here in this 2nd chapter the accumulation of merit, right? And the purification of negative karmas and the confession of negative deeds, which are the cause and conditions for generating bodhicitta. And so far, we offer to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, remember, we offer like flowers, incense, food, candles, butter lamps, ornaments, and places, etc. Remember, in order to develop bodhicitta, you have to read this the root text, and then visualize. Lots of people really want to think, and you have to visualize all these beautiful places and all this natural, like trees, jungles, oceans. People like to think that kind of thing. So it's nice. So you can read these chapters and then offer this. You have to practice. Otherwise, what is point to come here and study, right? Just we have to practice. So for that. So here, so for we practice, in this 2nd chapter to talk about all these kind of offerings, right? I hope you remember. Now here we offer our bodies. That means, that's the best. If we possess nothing, we can, of course, we can offer our bodies, and we serve them and behave sort of according to the wishes of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. What is their wish? Their wish is the benefit of all sentient beings. If we stop harm others and help others, that will please them, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and that is the only way we can make them happy. And that's the only way we can accumulate merit so that, we can generate bodhicitta. Basically, we stop harm others. We, help all sentient beings. That is purification. That is accumulation merit. that is also at the same time we're developing bodhicitta. So basically, they all kind of same thing if you act properly. One time, Milarepa is the most famous and genuine Dharma practitioner among, doesn't matter, Nyingma, Karjit, Gelug, Sarcha, all agree that he is the best. One time Milarepa's teacher, Marba, right? Marba Lodza, Marba. So one time Marba gave an important teachings to a group of his students. And that time Marba was there and Marba joined them. And then his teacher, Marba, told, Milarepa, you just can't receive these precious teachings without a good offering. So he asked, what is your offering in order to receive these teachings from me? And then Milarepa said that, I have really nothing to offer except my body and my mind. And I already offered them to you when I met you the first time. So if it's okay, I would like to offer them again to you completely today. And please accept my body and my mind. And then Marba said that, you already offered your body and mind to me when you came here first meet me. That doesn't count today. So offer me something else. And then Milarepa said, he doesn't have anything, right? I have really nothing to offer other than that. Please let me receive this teaching. Then Marba, his teacher, kind of pretended, like to get really, really angry at Milarepa and said that I went through such difficult situations and to get this teaching transmissions of these teachings from India. I mean, Marba went to India many times, at least 3 times by walking, receive these teachings and translate all this. Marba speak Hindi, so translate all that into Tibet, and he did all that, and now Marba said to Mula, you are asking me to give you these teachings that I went through such a difficult situations, and now you want to receive these teachings without doing anything good. But you create so much negative karma. You killed people, you killed animals. You are evil, get out here. And he kicked him, Actually, he beat him, And then he didn't give him the teachings. I mean, do you really think his teacher Marba really wanted offerings from Milarepa? No, but Milarepa created negative karma, and at that time, he did not purify them. Then, of course, there is no point to give him the secret teachings, important teachings. No matter even Marba give him, he will not realize them. There's no point. There's no benefit, So Milarepa was not ready to receive any kind of teachings, because in order to receive these teachings, really he need purify his negative karma and accumulate merit. Otherwise, there's no point. So then after that, Milarepa, purified all his negative karmas under, Marba's instructions, and he had a really, really difficult situation for a few years. And then once he purified them, Marba said, I don't need any offerings. I need you purify your negative karma, and now I will give you all teachings that I received. And so like that. So similarly, all the masters say same thing. In order to generate bodhicitta, we need to accumulate merit and purify negative karma. That is, that's what the Buddha's bodhisattvas appreciate the most is our commitment to practice and benefit all beings and stop harming others. So the best offering to our teacher is the commitment to spiritual practice. It's because the more we practice, the more we accumulate positive karma and purify negative deeds. That's what the Buddha and Bodhisattvas really want. So what they want is for us to create the causes for our own happiness. What they want is the benefit others and practice bodhicitta. That is the best offering. So other than that, the Buddha's bodhisattvas, they don't need our body and mind. But in order to purify and accumulate merit, we offer them body and our mind. If you are willing to offer your body and mind, you really need to do it. Just to say, oh, I offer my body and mind means nothing. So as Milarepa say, like after that, like many difficulties, he went through many difficult situations. And then one time, Marba's wife she is so compassionate woman. And Bodhisattva, right? Of course, Dakini. So she just really can't see the Mala's kind of situation, how difficult, and Marbat gave him so difficult situation. And then she said, you should go. Now, I don't think you will receive any teachings from him. You are just really suffering from all this difficult that Marbat did you. So you should leave in. You should find another teacher. And then Milarepa kind of believed, and then he went it. And then Marva kind of like, worried and where Milarepa? And then his wife said, he left. You didn't give him teaching, so he left. And then he searched, and Mila came back, and Marba said, you give me, you offer your body and mind. Where you cannot go. You cannot go. Your body and in mind, your body and your mind, you already offered me. You can't go without my permission. You can't do anything without my permission. That's how you offer your body and mind. But we just say it, right? Oh, I offer my body. That means nothing. So that's very important. If you really want to offer your body and mind, I would say you should not, because it's not, if you really want, then you have no choice. Whatever they say, that's your body and mind already you offer. It's not yours anymore. That kind of offer and talking here, the Shantideva is talking here. Just to say the words, and that's we can't, that kind of offering, we can't make any, like, we can't accumulate merit. Anyway, now the next section of the root text, the 9th stanza. Dagna cheji yong su zong ina, tina minjik simchin pambarji, ngonji digli yong dagan dabjichin, dikpa yang hanchin mabjitos. Through being completely under your care, I will fearlessly bring benefit to sentient beings in samsara. I will completely overcome all bad deeds of the past. And from this point on, I will never commit my bad deeds again. You see, this, think about this stanza is really important one for us. Now, what will we do once we have offered ourselves, right? Body, mind, to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, then it says, through being completely under your care, I will fearlessly bring benefit to sentient beings in samsara. It means once you offer your body and mind to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you accumulate such a merit, you feel like fearless. You are, being completely under Buddha's Bodhisattvas' care. Therefore, you are fearless. And fearlessly, you can bring like benefit to other sentient beings. So no longer need to concern yourself with the fears of samsaric life, because now you are under the Buddha's Bodhisattva's protection. And they have taken us into their care. So we are free from fear. So from now on, we say, I will fearlessly work for the benefit of all beings, no matter how difficult it may be, because I'm not afraid, since I'm under the Buddha's Bodhisattva's care and protect, and with their blessings, I will completely overcome all my negative karma that I accumulated in the past. And from this point on, I will also never commit any harmful negative actions again. So this is a very important commitment. We make this very strong commitment. I will bring happiness and benefit to myself and others. I will totally purify my negative karma that I created in the past, and I will never do any harmful negative actions again. You see? We really cannot make this kind of commitment because we are afraid. But if we can, this is the essence of purification practice. Without these commitments, there's no such thing as purification. we meditate every day. We say prayers and mantras, and sometimes we have a good thoughts, and love and compassion. It's wonderful. It's good. Everything's good, but that's not how we purify negative karma. Purify negative karma that we accumulated in the past and every day. In order to purify that, we need this kind of commitment, especially the commitment, I will never do any harmful negative actions again. If you make that commitment and you stay with it, you are pure. You are almost there, right there. You become a bodhisattva right there. So think about this. This is that when we practice, bodhisattva is the essence of practice, the purification practice, and there are four powers, right? So the most important power is this one. That's the same thing, this commitment. With these powerful commitments, we will able to purify all negative karma. With this kind of commitment, no matter how strong or a lot we create negative karma in the past, if we can do sort of commitment, this kind of commitment, like from bottom of our heart, then at that moment you kind of purify everything. So I think it's very important for those of you who already have the bodhisattva vows. You should renew the vows every day and make this commitment. And you should recite this stanza, stanza 8 and 9. Very important. If you want to generate bodhicitta, this is how you do it. And I think also it's important to recite remember the 8th stanza of the first chapter. My favorite, the benefit of bodhicitta. Those who wish to overcome abundant suffering, mundane existence, those who wish to remove unhappiness sentient beings, those who wish to enjoy what do you call it? I don't remember now, but should never forsake bodhi, should never give up bodhicitta. Do you remember this sentence, the stanza? You should. I recite this every single day, this stanza. It makes me, keep going, gives me lots of courage, So you should say these verses and think about the benefit of bodhicitta, and then you should make this commitment. The ones you really understand the benefits of bodhicitta, then it's it's easy to make this commitment. Without understanding the benefit of bodhicitta, it's hard to make this commitment. So read these sentences, these stanzas, and memorize them and remember them all the time. And so that through these stanzas, it's very, very profound and vast, I think, and because then we can purify, because every single day we create negative karma. And when we make this commitment, we have to look really inside and think about our life, how we lived until now, and how, many thoughts of ignorance, anger, desire, jealous have arisen in us. And it's important to become aware of these things and acknowledge these thoughts, and to understand that these negative emotions can never lead us anything other than unfortunate results. Otherwise, it's not enough to just recognize the cause of our unhappiness, the cause of problems, the cause of suffering. Just to recognize that is good, but it's not enough. So we still have to purify them through this sort of practice. We still need to accumulate merit through these offerings, methods, so that we'll be able to develop bodhicitta in our mind. So here, when we offer our bodies, our mind, whatever, to the Buddha's bodhisattvas and make these commitments, you see, in reality, we're not doing this for the Buddhas and bodhisattvas. We're the one who will get the benefit. Because making these offerings and commitments frees us from habits of selfishness and negative karma that we accumulated in the past. And it will also protect us from making negative karma in the future again. So basically, making these offerings and accumulating merit, this practice brings us three things. It brings happiness for this life, it brings happiness for future lives, and it brings happiness for the ultimate achievement of liberation and generate bodhicitta. So we're doing this for basically for ourselves, not this offering, this accumulation merit, all this, not for Buddha's bodhisattvas. So in this second chapter, we already talked all these different kinds of offerings and accumulations. But if you don't understand the essence, the point of doing these things, then there is not much beneficial, right? So the point is we have to look inside of our mind and have to recognize these negative thoughts and emotions will not bring us happiness, will not bring happiness to others. So we have to develop bodhicitta. But in order to do that, we have to make commitments to practice these offerings so that we can reduce or get rid of selfishness, which is completely opposite of bodhicitta, right? That's the point. So remember, there are three qualities you have to remember when you make offerings. First, your offerings must be presented with a pure motivation. We talked about these three things right beginning of, we started the second chapter. And then second, we need a pure object, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And third, we need a pure substance or whatever, wealth, whatever you offer. So with these three pure parts of offering, your offerings will accumulate perfect merit. Okay, that's very important. So now here we finished the first offering section. And now the second section, we have offerings that are mentally created such as the offering of bathing, drawing, enjoyment, and so forth. We'll see. The root text say here, the 10th stanza is, I offer pleasantly scent bath house with a clear and sparkling crystal flowers and graceful colors shimmering with gems. TJ shared, sorry. Decorate with a gleaming canopies is library, okay, of the mythic pearls. Okay, so these are Tiji Conway the Tijan Bahir Jasari Jasar Shan Sera, the Rinchin Barikawa on the mythic watcher library Tipa tears. Okay, so now here we offering that mentally create. So we have to visualize these things, okay? So here Shantideva offers a beautiful, basically beautiful bath house with sweet sort of smells and beautiful decorations. I think this is because, the ancient Indians do this offering a lot. They offer, they offer bathing, before or after eating food. They washing their feet with, this kind of sweet fragrance. And you can see when you go to India, they wear like this anklets and foot rings and all that kind of ornaments. They still do. So I think that's because of this. They think this is very beautiful way to offering, and they also decorate their head with a beautiful flower garland, and they wear that kind of flower garland. And Indian people wear a lot of ornaments all over their bodies. So when you look at the deities, they are wearing very similar ornaments that Indian people have. That there is a reason why they do that. So I think, therefore, we offer, jewel ornaments to the deities, and we offer beautiful bathhouse to the deities. Although deities are not stained by any defects, right? But in order to purify again ourselves and other beings, we offer bathing to the deities and to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So this, again, we're doing this. We're offering, mentally creating, you visualize all this because of purify ourselves. Okay, that's easy. And then the next 11th stanza, make this offering of bathing to the Buddhas in their ears with many precious vases, properly filled with a pleasant scent water, accompanied by various songs and music. Okay, here we're going to visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and deities, and arriving together at our beautiful bathing house. And then we offer them beautiful, it says here, precious sort of vases made out of precious jewel. And then also, like, we properly filled with pleasant water with different kinds of various aromas. At the same time, we offer beautiful songs and play, wonderful music So you can visualize all these beautiful things. So when you say this, I used to really like this kind of, when I say say this stanza, these verses, and then I visualize all this imagination or whatever. And beautiful. I mean, at the same time, you can purify your karma, negative karma. So it's nice. So you visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They kind of, you invite them into your beautiful house and beautiful bathing house, and then you offer all these things. And then because of your beautiful offerings to them, you purify all your negative karma and obscurations of all sentient beings and yourself, and you accumulate such merit so that the precious bodhicitta is born in your mind. That's the point. That's the result. I want to generate bodhicitta so that um, I can stop harming others, and so that I can help others. In order to help others, the most important is the bodhicitta. If there is no bodhicitta, and then it's really difficult to help others. So this kind of practice can help us to, collect good merit and create positive karma, which will allow us to be able to generate bodhicitta. When practitioners pour like fragrant water over the statue of the Buddha or a stupa, it symbolizes inner purification, okay, and good health and longevity. The ritual is called bathing of the Buddha, or in Chuso in Tibetan, Chuso, which is a ritual for purification using sort of blessing water. It's called a cleaning ceremony. They do this performance on the Buddha's birthdays, Buddha's enlightenment days, every year. In Nepal, in India, they do these kind of things. It's a very secret sort of ritual of bathing the Buddha or other holy statue or stupas. So the purpose for the purification. Traditionally, there are also other water purification practice where a teacher sort of pours water on or you do this to yourself, We have that kind of purification ceremony, like with the ritual, the prayers. I think that is kind of like similar to baptism, right? You go into, water, you drink, you pour whatever, you do that. You have that kind of culture. So water helps to purify. I think this religion's idea is kind of like similar, So ancient times in India, the bathing was considered to be a very pleasant source of enjoyment. I mean, it's good, right? When you take shower, it feels really nice and you enjoy. So I think that makes sense. So here, this stanza is talking about all that kind of things, okay? So the meaning is, you should really understand the essence of it is the purification. Purify our negative karma and, of course, others. So therefore, I think to offer a bath was regarded as auspicious and positive action. So therefore, this is through that you also can accumulate merit. Now the next 12th stanza, it says 대답글한 송바 메비 구짱라 드르구비 급쇼 데니텔라 카톨릭 주르비 납자 힌드트jem tambambels. So now here, okay, this I dry their bodies with incomparable clothes, clean and fragranced with scent. And then I offer them beautifully colored and sweetly fragrant garments. Okay, here, as I mentioned before, when we offer these beautiful things to the Buddha's bodhisattvas, it's important to do so with correct motivation, right? And understand what is the purpose of doing it. So we should believe that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, deities, are actually, when you practice this kind of offering, right? So they are present in front of you, and have a confident faith, and think about our negative karma that we create, and purify our minds and accumulate merit. As you know, the essence of this practice is our commitment. That is, not to engage any negative karma again anymore. So when you visualize Buddha's bodhisattvas, and then you offer all this, so they take shower, that you offer bath in house, everything this. After that, now here, like you offer them beautiful like towels, basically, so they can dry their bodies, and then you offer them like beautiful clothes, whatever you offer them. So all of that, right? So you, in your mind, you really did something, right? So that you said, please purify my negative karmas so that I can generate bodhicitta. That's the essence. Otherwise, there's no such thing as purification. And also, like when these are very, I think, if you are kind of like prayer person, like ritual, you like that kind of things, I think these are very strong. It's powerful. And once you practice this, we should also pray for peace and happiness for the whole world. We should dedicate this merit to all sentient beings. And the benefits of this practice is the accumulation of merit, so that bodhicitta will born in your mind, in our mind. Now the next stanza, number 13, Gubzang, this is the clothing offering. Gubzang tablan jamba nasokton, janchu jabtak dedan, pawa kunduzan, jikte omshik solan. Now here, I offer with all kinds of excellent garments, soft and fine, and hundreds of the most beautiful adornments, to grace the bodies of the noble Samandabhadra, Manjingosha, Logadishora, Logadishora, and the rest means Sok. Sok means all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, deities, masters, and the rest, right? So here, you already offered the bathing house and they clean, and now you offer the clothes. Yeah, here. So in this second chapter, there are different kinds of offerings, because through these offerings we can accumulate merit again. Merit has the power to purify negative karma, afflictions, habitual patterns. So therefore, Shantideva teaches here many good methods for gathering merit. So gathering merit, this is what we call accumulation path, right? The path of accumulation is the first part of the bodhisattvas. So we are thinking about this lifetime, we need to reach on this path, the first path of bodhisattva, which is accumulation path. Therefore, at the beginning, for bodhisattvas on the accumulation path, it is very important to focus on how to accumulate merit. That's why they call it, accumulation path. As I give you the talked about the stories of Milarepa between Marba and Milarepa, because Milarepa really at that time need to accumulate merit, otherwise he can't develop his practice. And even like Marba give him teachings, let him join the groups and receive the teachings. I don't think Milarepa will understand, the meaning of teachings. So if you, for example, like us, we just bring that example into our mind, like if we talk about this Shantidevas, the way of Bodhisattva, the second chapter, all these offerings, if you think, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why. That means really you don't understand the essence of the teaching. So that shows like, we need to accumulate merit. Otherwise, we'll not be able, we can't develop the bodhicitta. So as our, practice bodhicitta, we practice bodhicitta, it really makes sense that, like they talk about the accumulation merit a lot in this second chapter, because the second chapter is actually we start practice bodhicitta. The first chapter is the benefit of bodhicitta. So that helps us to, I really want to practice bodhicitta. But here, the second chapter is the main, we practice right here, bodhicitta, and accumulate merit. That's why we start to practice with generosity and offerings. The offerings is practice generosity, So it is the best way to accumulate merit for ordinary or worldly people, Chantakirti said that, for ordinary worldly people, the generosity, the offering practice is the best for them. So that's why Shantideva is, explain in this second chapter all different kinds of offerings and accumulate merit. Once we have enough merit, then it will be easy to develop bodhicitta in our mind. So here Shantideva, talks about offering all different things, clothes and, to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So, for example, when we are offering clothing, they say we will receive blessings, such as we'll have sort of dignified appearances. Our skin will be soft and smooth. We will have the best clothing as soon as we are born. We will be respected by those who see us, and we will have a great wealth and treasures. So that's the blessings. That's the result of this offering clothing to Buddha's bodhisattvas. And while offering in this way, in Khenpo Kumpel's the commentary, right? Khenpo Kumpel has a beautiful commentary, the way of Bodhisattva. His commentary says that we need to pray like this. May all sentient beings, myself and others, attain through these offerings the excellent ornamentation of the major marks and minor signs of the Buddhas and deities. And may all beings generate bodhicitta in their minds. That's Khenpo Kumpel said. It's commentary. So when we are offering this practice, then we are thinking all the way that we pray like this, okay? Yeah, that's the second chapter today. That's all for today. Now here I want some people asked me that they say, you always talk about bodhicitta. So they asked me, can you explain or give me, the instruction, like how to practice bodhicitta? So I'm going to give some instructions that are from different masters, different teachers. I'm sure you know, of course, right? You know how to practice bodhicitta, but some people don't know. I always talk about everything about bodhicitta, the benefit of bodhicitta, then we practice, but still some people really exactly, they're not so sure what is the instruction, how to practice bodhicitta. So usually you have to before you practice bodhicitta, you should visualize all the Buddha's bodhisattvas, right? Not like this, you have maybe the pictures, you have maybe stages, tankas, and all that. These are not real Buddha's bodhisattvas. So you have to visualize the Buddha's bodhis, real living Buddha's bodhisattvas, right? In the sky, in front of you, and you ask their blessings. If you visualize this kind of things, Buddha's body, if you really don't feel that the real sort of living Buddha's bodhisattvas in front of you, that means you are not doing really correctly. So you have to feel, their presence, they're there. And then you ask their blessings. And then you make a commitment. And then you take them as a witness of your generating bodhicitta. So if you feel their presence and you do this all the time and you make a commitment in front of them, that helps. Like when you break your commitment, you feel so bad because of, I made this commitment in front of Buddha's bodhisattvas. I felt that they're there and now I break my commitment. You feel really bad. That bad feeling is really good for purification practice. Otherwise, you visualize Buddha, but so you make a commit, you feel nothing. You just, that's not how you practice. And then you break your commitment. Oh yeah, I did today, but well, tomorrow I will do something else. That's not how you practice Buddhism. So that's how you start. You have to feel the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, your masters, your lineage, everybody in there in front of you. And then that's first. And then there, remember, different instructions from different masters. For example, the first, the instruction for how to practice aspiration bodhicitta, according to great master Atisha. These are very common Buddhist practitioners. They practice aspiration bodhicitta. So you practice bodhicitta by meditating on the Jimdi Mangyabdun in Tibetan, meaning the 7 points of the cause and effect. Do you remember? Of course you remember. Seven points of the cause and effect instructions, that's they call it. So for example, first, to recognize all sentient beings as your mothers, fathers. And then second, you remember in their kindness. And then third, you wishing to repay their kindness, and so on and so forth, right? There are 7 cause and effect instructions. So this is how the Kadamba masters like Atisha, Dumtumba, Langritangba, all these Kadammas generate aspiration bodhicitta. Do that. Then the second instruction for how to practice aspiration bodhicitta. We're talking here aspiration, okay, not action bodhicitta. We're not there yet. So first, in order to act, we need this intention, good intention. So we have to develop, generate this aspiration bodhicitta. So according to Bhakti Rinpoche, remember, you practice bodhicitta by meditating on the 4 immeasurables: love, compassion, joy, equanimity, right? And what's my perfect teacher, Bhakti Rinpoche, also said, to make it even easier to understand, Bhakti Rinpoche summarized the 4 measurable qualities with one idea, which is a kind heart. He said, like a kind heart, keep in kind heart in every situation, day and night. That's the essence of the practice for measurables. Very common practice. These instructions are very common and very unique for practice for aspiration bodhicitta. And then third instruction, how to practice aspiration bodhicitta. According to Shantideva, you practice bodhicitta by meditating on 3 stages of training, which is considering others are equal to ourselves, right? And then second, exchanging ourselves for others. And then the third is taking others is more important than ourselves. So you need to, these 3 stages of training, you need to meditate on these instructions step by step. Now, it means you cannot meditate like taking others is more important than yourself. That's where the hardest one. It's difficult for a beginner. So you have to first like, oh, me and others. What is, first considering others as equal to ourselves. This is very easy to understand. This instruction, this is kind of similar to practicing equanimity. Remember, in the four measurable prayer, there's equanimity. Meditating on this, we need to deeply recognize that there is no distinction between ourselves and others. I want happiness, so do you. Nobody want to suffer it. And this is very logically, experientially, this is easy to understand. So that's what Shantideva say, practice, taking others is taking ourselves, the first, considering ourselves equal to others. And then second is exchanging ourselves for others. This is similar to the Tonglen meditation. People are very familiar with Tonglen meditation, give and taking, right? Meditation. So you look at others' situation. For example, this is also not that difficult, even though like we are as ordinary people. This is not difficult to practice. So for example, that means like you look at other situation. So when you see a person killing an animal, you deeply consider if that animal is you, how do you feel with that suffering and losing your life like that? So you just, that is how you practice Tonglen. That is how you practice exchanging ourselves for others. Exchanging. In your language, you always say you should put yourself in their shoes. So here you need to exchange yourself for others like that. And when you have negative emotions and very bad sort of anger or whatever, and then you exchange, oh, if somebody did this to me, how do I feel? So Baba Rinpoche said, this is very profound meditation. Baba Rinpoche said that if you deeply experience, you feel in your heart this kind of, deeply experience this change, even once, it can purify negative actions that you accumulate many times in the past. So that's powerful practice. It will save you from suffering in the future. I mean, these are not my words. These are Baba Rinpoche's words. He's a real living Buddha. That's the second, right? And then third is taking others is more important than ourselves. This is kind of a little bit sort of advanced practitioners, a little bit difficult for us as ordinary people to think about, oh, taking others is more important than myself. It's hard. It's not that easy. But there are lots of stories of Tibetan masters when they put in the jail during the cultural revolution of China. It's happened. It's true. When the masters suffered from sort of being beaten by police, they think, oh, these people will suffer. So they say, may the suffering of these people ripen in me in the future, and may they have all my happiness. So they really did that. There are many stories of Tibetan masters when they put in the jail during the this time, Cultural Revolution China. It real happened. And then also, like when you go to Nepal, there is a place that you can see when Buddha and his previous life, he gave his body to a hungry mother of a tiger. And he saved her life. I mean, those are, the tiger was so weak, and even like Buddha, like he took off his clothes and then lay down in front of the tiger, and tiger couldn't do anything, so weak. And then Buddha himself um, took a sharp like stone and he cut his wrist, and then the blood, he gave the blood on the tiger's mouth, and then slowly tiger awake, and then he gave whole body to the tiger. That place in Nepal still exists, of course. But that's the real bodhisattvas. We don't have there, of course, that kind of, courage and so yeah, that's the exchange, or the important, consider others important than ourselves. We practice like that. Then there is also traditionally taught that we can generate aspiration, bodhicitta, like this king like bodhicitta, captain like bodhicitta, shepherd like bodhicitta, all that kind of that. And then also according to the Maitreya Buddha, there are 5 powers that will help you to generate aspiration bodhicitta. I hope you remember, I explained to you in the last teaching all these instructions. So you can choose one of these instructions for your bodhicitta practice, or you can just alternately, pick up these instructions. Today do this, tomorrow do something else, or just to go back and forth. Or you can just but Tolin practice is very powerful. So these instructions, that people who really not so sure how to practice aspiration bodhicitta, these are very powerful. When you have to practice this every single day. The bodhicitta, aspiration bodhicitta practice mostly like, this is not like rest and meditation. This is we call it like contemplating, like analytical meditation. You have to think a lot, but good thoughts. And then these good thoughts, love, compassion, is developed in your mind because you understand the suffering of yourself and others, the whole world. So then it's easy to generate love and compassion. So you kind of like develop step by step these things. So when you practice aspiration bodhicitta, at this point, you are simply having a great thought, right? Great thought. This great thought is the cause that allow you to attain the result. Therefore, this aspiration, intention, aspiration, whatever, motivation is so important. Even though you are not yet acting, right? You're not yet acting. When you practice aspiration bodhicitta, you're not acting anything, but this intention, aspiration is so important, or great thought. This is so important to develop in your mind because this gives you the result, which is which is action, right? So at that point, you need to develop such aspiration in order to act and benefit others. So you develop this aspiration, in your mind. And then when you're ready to act, then you practice action bodhicitta by putting into action the six transcendent perfection, or the six pāramitās, right? Which is in this way of bodhisattva: generosity, discipline, patience, all these six pāramitās. These are these instruction teachings are for people, practice action bodhicitta. So you're doing something, okay? But probably we're not there yet. So at this point, it's so important to develop and generate, this aspiration bodhicitta by practicing all this different instructions from different masters, okay? All right, that's all for today. I don't think we have a meditation time, so that's fine. So when you meditate, this is how you meditate. That's I give you the, and then of course, different people have different ideas. Oh, this really, if I think about this kind of instruction, is good for my aspiration, develop my aspiration bodhicitta. So you can use that too. But based on these different instructions from different masters, I think it's so strong, so powerful, because these instructions not just intellectual thing. So these masters become a bodhisattva, then become enlightened being. They use these instructions. Through these instructions, they reach liberation. So there is a blessings. There are blessings from these instructions. So you can develop bodhicitta in your mind.